Well, good morning. It's my coffee time out on the porch again. Actually, this is the second time. I didn't mess up with my microphone this time. I just didn't have good light. So I did a talk this morning. It wasn't brilliant, but it was just kind of a rambling talk, so better to redo it anyway. Sometimes early in the morning I don't have all my thoughts together, and that's what coffee's for. So I've had a little bit of coffee, and now hopefully I'm a little better prepared. What I wanted to talk about, kind of been on my mind most of yesterday and last night. How are you guys dealing with the concerns over the economy and the stock market? Now, let me just stop some of you right here. I don't want to get into a political discussion of who and what are to blame. That's for another channel. I certainly have my very own strong opinions. Trust me, I have very strong opinions on it. But I really want to leave this to be an open space for discussion and not get into that kind of thing. It's more just the concerns. You know, there was a 1,000 point drop, more than 1,000 point drop yesterday in the stock market. And, you know, when you're counting on a relatively small social security safety net, and then you've got your retirement, and you're hoping that it'll last, and you're hoping that you're going to live a long time. And, you know, in my case, I'm hoping my wife lives a long time, even longer than me. I hope she, you know, is here for a very long time. I want to make sure that, you know, she has a comfortable lifestyle. We're not rich. We've never been, you know, extravagant living. I don't expect that in our retirement, but, you know, I don't want to be just terrified that we're going to run out of money. And so, you know, that's a concern, and I'm wondering how everybody else feels about that too. A little personal bit about me. I am a worst case scenario thinker. That's a blessing and a curse. It's helped me with my job, in that I was kind of the person that they went to pick things apart. You know, people would come to me and, you know, they might be excited about a project or a plan or something, and I would listen to it, and I'd always try to be diplomatic, but I could look at it and then say, have you thought about this? Have you considered what could happen if this happens? And you could see a little bit of the excitement go out of their eyes, and I hate that, but I also would rather tell them the truth and ask those questions than, you know, have it fall apart later. And nobody can think of everything. I certainly can't. You know, best laid plans are gonna, you know, that hopefully work, but something's gonna happen almost always. That was one of the reasons, you know, in my travel, that customers like me, because I would go in to a large event space and look at things and could kind of catch a lot of things that could happen and try to fix them ahead of time. And the reason for that was you can only do so much, and then, you know, if you can fix problems that are foreseeable, then you don't have to deal with those when the things that you don't see, that are human errors, that are natural things. I mean, we had an earthquake during the meeting, and you can't foresee that coming. I mean, you can have the plans and you can have, you know, safety protocols and all, but, you know, an earthquake in D.C., that was crazy. And you know, it could happen anywhere. It's just so random, though. You can't really prepare other than, you know, have a booklet of security measures and safety protocols that nobody's really going to read. You know, you can write that up, but to remember every bit of it, you know. So the worst case scenario thinking has done pretty well for me. Doesn't work as well at home, with the wife and 3 daughters who, my daughters as teenagers and even as adults get excited about things, and they'll come in, and I'll try to, raise my eyebrows and look excited, and I'm happy for them. I love their passion and excitement for things. But they know that Dad is eventually going to come out and say, but what about? And, we refer back to a situation. My oldest daughter is a Disney adult, loves Disney, would spend all of her time at Disney. If she could move there and live on property in one of the parks, she would do it, and just loves to go. And I love Disney. I just don't, I'm not as obsessed as she is and a lot of other people. But we were planning a family vacation, and we're looking at different options. And we went over to her and her husband's house, and she had done this incredible PowerPoint that was just very detailed and had all kinds of animation with it. And she went through the cost, and we were going to stay on property at Disney. We were in one of their hotels, and this was what it was going to cost, and this was going to, and she was so excited. I mean, just the energy coming off of her. She's a much better speaker than I am. It doesn't take much, as you figured out. And she went through this, and I kept telling myself, give her this, be excited. And when she was done, I'm pretty sure I said, great job, this was really well done. And it was. But then I did the but. And there we were, me saying, we'd be cheaper staying off-site for these reasons. And it was considerably cheaper. And we had, options to stay a few miles down the road at a place, and it was a lot cheaper. But you did miss out on things, and that's what she was excited about, the park transportation. But it kind of deflated her, and I regret that. I wish I had handled that differently. You look back on a lot of stuff that you do, and you with regrets, or not. I don't carry it around like some heavy weight, but you think, I wish I'd have done that different. And so now, as I'm looking at this retirement and how to handle things and making plans, and I love to plan. I love to work out the details and try to figure out what I can do to keep things from going wrong. And I don't know how to handle this because, we've got a retirement and it's in a fund, and I don't want to just say, I'm going to take it all out right now, because huge tax liability and all kinds of other issues. And I'll probably end up talking to a financial advisor to say what's the best way. But if we take another hit, this is again worst case scenario thinking. It's how my mind works. Sorry. If we had another bad place like 2008 where there's a major collapse and we lose half our value, I know we don't lose it unless we sell it at that time, but in retirement, that's when you're drawing from it. That's when you need it. It's not like I'm going to be building. I'm not putting money into it now. So, that's things that have me concerned with retirement. And again, best laid plans, it's not too great when you're looking at situations like that. And the economy right now, gas prices jumped almost 50 cents this week in my area. So now we're plotting, okay, how do we adjust to that? My wife drives for a living. She's a regional sales manager, and she goes to places and she gets reimbursement, but I don't think they're going to raise the reimbursement. So that's just going to be money out of our pocket. It's worrisome. And I know people say, don't worry, it's going to be great. You'll live your best life. And I try to be positive, But then other times I'm positive it won't always work out. not to be all doom and gloom. I really don't mean to do that. I really am wondering what everybody's thinking. And it's just these moments like when the stock market drops 1,000 points and gas prices jump up. And I think, how am I going to last and have money for me and my wife? So I guess we just do the best we can. I'm sure some of you are like me. I used to go to Kroger just whenever. I thought if we needed something, I'd run to Kroger. Now I plot it for Fridays because that's when you get 4 times fuel bucks. And I go and try to do all our shopping on Friday so that all that money gets 4 times, and then we use it. And now we're gonna, I was talking to my wife. I said, okay, where's your car on gas? And we need to start planning to take our vehicles at the same time. Now she goes through a lot more gas than I do. I don't drive that much anymore. But go and fill them up at the same time when we have those big discounts. It's those little things, and I guess we all have to do it. And watching, our spending, we don't go out to eat as much as we did when I had my paying job. That's just the choices you make. Now that's fine. We grill. I don't mind cooking. She cooks. We are fine doing that. But you make adjustments. And I guess I'm just wondering, how many adjustments are we going to have to keep making, and is it going to be enough? So I'd like to hear what you have to say. But I do want to end on a positive note after all this worrisome talk about the economy and all. It's a beautiful day, and I hope it's a beautiful day where you are. It was really incredible to drive through my town yesterday and see the explosion of Bradford pear blooms, and knowing that spring has started coming out, and it's one of my favorite times of year. Fall is my favorite, but in spring when the flowers start coming out, and when the Bradford pears, and they don't last long, and then we have the dogwoods right after that, and they don't last long, but it's just beautiful. And I hope you get to get out and enjoy some of it. I hope you're having a good day. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and just take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon.